So, Microsoft just dropped a massive bomb on the gaming world this morning, announcing they have acquired Bethesda, one of the biggest development houses in the world, as well as their parent company, ZeniMax Media, for a reported $7.5 billion. A bit from Microsoft's official statement on the matter, they said, "Today is a special day as we welcome some of the most accomplished studios in the games industry to Xbox. We are thrilled to announce Microsoft has entered into an agreement to acquire ZeniMax Media, parent company of Bethesda Softworks. As one of the largest, most critically acclaimed privately held developers and publishers in the world, Bethesda is an incredibly talented group of 2,300 people worldwide who make up some of the most accomplished creative studios in our industry across Bethesda Softworks, Bethesda Game Studios, id Software, ZeniMax Online Studios, Arcane, Machine Games, Tango Gameworks, Alpha Dog, and Roundhouse Studios. These are the teams responsible for franchises like The Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Wolfenstein, Doom, Dishonored, Prey, Quake, Starfield, and many more." That's a lot of studios, a lot of massive game franchises they just picked up. And I've seen a lot of chaos online in terms of the player reaction. What does this mean for the current and future roadmap for Bethesda games? And how will this affect the likes of Sony, Nintendo, as well as Microsoft themselves? Well, let's talk about it. First, obviously, this puts Microsoft in a huge power position going forward. They will be deciding the fate of these franchises, and I gotta be honest, I'm a little worried. These acquisitions have seemed to be pretty hit or miss with Microsoft. Rare is always the saddest one, right? What they did to my boy, just letting those IPs rot, only to drag one out into the sun finally to give us Battletoads 2020. Ugh, just makes me sick. So hopefully they do right by these games and their fans. Bethesda, considering the massive hits they've been putting out, should be left mostly to their own devices when it comes to game development, I think. There is some cool possibilities now for team-ups within the house of Microsoft. Like, think about this. Microsoft now owns both Obsidian and Bethesda, so if they wanted to, they could have Obsidian do a legit sequel to Fallout New Vegas. I mean, that's crazy. But yeah, let's talk a bit about what we know is coming. Stuff like Elder Scrolls 6, Starfield. These are some of the most anticipated games of this generation, as well as all the games beyond that, which Bethesda, I'm sure, is in the planning stages of. People have been hyped to play them on all platforms. Obviously, they'll come to Xbox. They will surely be included in Game Pass, which, let's just take a minute to think about this service's insane growing value. Now you'll have all the new Bethesda games, again, your Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Doom, etc., on there day one. But let's not also forget Bethesda's back catalog. This is something Sony, I think, really needs to worry about, as they just announced that only PS4 will be backwards compatible with the PS5. Xbox is making the ultimate archive of classic games. You'll surely have all these big Bethesda releases from the Xbox 360, even the original Xbox, something like Morrowind, will not only be backwards compatible, like you can put in your old disc into an Xbox Series X or whatever Xbox console you have now and play them, but now that Microsoft owns them, they'll all forever be a part of Xbox Game Pass. The value, it cannot be understated how just insane it is. And all that largely carries over to PC. All these games will surely be put on PC, will surely be a part of Xbox Game Pass for PC. PC players, I'm telling you, by the day with stuff like this, the PlayStation exclusives coming to PC, getting those current gen cheaper prices for games, PC players just seem to keep getting in a better and better position. But what about the competition, Sony and Nintendo? Well, Nintendo, we know, is buddy-buddies with Microsoft. If anything, this may actually help Nintendo see more support with Bethesda games, unless we see this big fancy Switch 2 or Switch Pro that's been rumored pretty much since the Switch came out. We probably weren't going to be getting most of these games on the Switch to begin with, right? New Elder Scrolls, the Starfield, etc. So I think Nintendo will continue to just get the ones that make sense for them. Older stuff, I think, would really be great, like a Fallout 3 New Vegas 2-pack or something. That's something I've been wanting for a long time. But yeah, I think with their relationship, things only seem more likely to be coming to Nintendo. Someone like Doom Guy coming to Smash. We've already gotten Banjo and Kazooie. I think that makes him only more of a possibility. But I doubt, given the current landscape, Bethesda's support for Nintendo will really change much. Now, PlayStation, on the other hand, that's the big direct competitor for Xbox. They may be in a bit more trouble. Now, if the roles were reversed, if this was Sony making the purchase of Bethesda, I'd pretty much assume they're just going to keep everything exclusive to their platforms. Sony is very protective of their exclusive games. But Microsoft does things much differently, as we've seen with many of their acquisitions, Mojang with Minecraft, for example. They still look to get the games on as many platforms as possible, oftentimes, to maximize each game's profit. If it sells less Xboxes, so be it. This is something that's been hard for a lot of people still stuck in the console war mindset to understand. Actually, same goes with the PS4 games eventually coming to PC, is that software is where the real money is in this industry, not hardware. And I've long said I think Microsoft sees Game Pass more as their future platform than actual consoles. So we very well may still see these games coming to PS5. Microsoft has a lot of plays, though, that they can make with these games now. Right off the bat, they'll still be able to offer the games on Game Pass, so it's like you can get all these games for a cheap subscription fee on their platform, or pay the full $60 a pop for the PS5 version, which still gives them an edge. They could also make some of these games timed exclusives, where the games are only on Xbox and PC for, say, the first 6 months or a year, and then they bring them to PS5. That still, I think, gives people a good amount of incentive to buy an Xbox. I know I'm not waiting like a year to play Elder Scrolls 6, right? And on top of that, which I think is very likely, they could have exclusive content or first access to content in all these games, again, on Xbox and PC. Personally, I think there will be some sort of mixture. I don't think every game from these various Bethesda studios will go multi-platform, but I think some of the big ones, like Elder Scrolls, will. Again, there may be something like timed exclusivity, exclusive content but I think they'll still end up wanting to get those sales on the PS5. I mean, you gotta imagine the amount of money Bethesda's made off Skyrim, selling it on every platform under the sun since it came out, just keeps re-releasing that same game over and over and people keep buying it. The amount of money to be made offering games like that up on all platforms is gonna be tough to pass up. Now, this also puts them in a good position with negotiating any future deals with the competition, whether it be with simple stuff like crossplay with multiplayer or even future releases. If Sony wants to screw around, Microsoft can just be like, oh, I guess we won't give you this game then. And I could see Sony responding to this news with a big purchase of their own to kind of swing the momentum, buying someone they have a good relationship with, perhaps like a Square Enix, right? They already have so many exclusivity deals with Square Enix. I think it would make a lot of sense if Sony ended up buying them. They could get all the Final Fantasies in that locked down, but then there could be some negotiations there. Like, Xbox could say, we're not going to put this game on the PS5 unless we can get your game on Xbox, right? You almost have to assume if things are going to escalate, if we're going to see more massive purchases like this take place, that we're going to have to see some negotiations with getting games on different platforms. Regardless, this is going to be very interesting to see how Microsoft handles all this. And I almost forgot, this announcement just happens to come the day before Xbox Series X and S pre-orders go on sale. Funny how that happened to work out, huh? Definitely a nice final sales pitch for people to pick up a new Xbox. Like, hey, we don't really know what the future of all these franchises is going to be, except for the fact that they will be on Xbox. The games are going to be on Game Pass day one. Anyway, with that, this video's a wrap. Let me know your thoughts on Microsoft's big purchase today in the comments. How big of an impact do you think this will have on the industry? And if Bethesda games do end up being exclusive to Xbox, would that make you more likely to buy one? Hey guys, hope you enjoyed this discussion of Microsoft buying Bethesda. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and if you want to keep the conversation going, hit me up on Twitter, @JohnnyZakari, and join my Discord, ChiGuy and Friends, link to both in the description below, and as always, thanks for watching.